In a nation searching for answers, every household has a story, and every story is shaped by the politics of our time. Your struggles, your hopes, your future. We bring you the voices of the people and the leaders who must respond. Because a stronger democracy starts with informed citizens. This is where Zambia comes together to talk, to question, and to push for better. Your voice, your power, your Zambia. The Political Square. Only on BMTV. Zambia's light, Zambia's voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another compelling edition of the Political Square, where conversations shape perspectives and voices drive the future. Tonight, we bring you the second episode, which is thought-provoking in a series to come, and the spotlight is firmly on the heartbeat of our nation, which involves the youth. Joining us is in the square tonight is the youth chairperson for the We Are One Zambia Alliance, Teinson Munsange, a voice representing ambition, invocation, and aspirations of a new generation stepping boldly into the political arena. In this episode, we dive deep into the role of young people in shaping Zambia's political landscape, from leadership and participation to vision and influence. We unpack critical issues around employment, economic opportunities, and how youth can position themselves just not as participants, but as drivers of national development. We also take pressing national matters, explore policy perspectives, and ask tough questions, about the country and where it's heading and what it will take to get there. So if you've ever wondered about the future of youth in politics, the opportunities that lie ahead, and the challenges that must be overcome, this is a conversation you do not want to miss. Stay with us as we engage, inform, and inspire. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Political Square. I'm your host. My name is Temwani Nkata, and I said tonight's guest is the Woza youth chairperson, who is none other than Teinson Munsange. Mr. Munsange, I'd like to welcome you to BMTV. I'd like to welcome you to the Political Square.
Thank you, Mr. Nkata. It is an honor, the pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. Lots for us to tackle tonight, but let's start on the youth leadership. You being a chairperson, being in a leadership position, it would be nice of you to share with us what the vision is from a youth perspective, obviously with regards to Woza.
Thank you. Before I deeply dive into that, let me just reintroduce myself and just to give a mini background of who I am, where I come from.
Okay.
So, like you mentioned, my name is Teinson Stefan Munsange. I was the Socialist Party, Southern Province Youth Chairman from 2021, after I contested as a Member of Parliament in Kalomo Central.
Okay.
I was appointed Youth Chairman for Southern Province from 2021 after the elections to last year in June, when I resigned on moral grounds. Fast forward, I had actually given up on the political activities.
Okay.
I'm a teacher by profession.
Right.
So I decided, let me just concentrate on my household. Let me become a teacher and begin to sustain my household or personal interest.
Okay.
But and that was also because there was really no platform that portrayed a vision that I could align my principles with. But Woza came on board.
Okay.
And
your principles aligned with their vision?
Yes, my principles aligned with their vision, the Fourth Republic Alliance.
Okay.
So I said, you know what, this is where I belong. How it's been, how it's been done in recent history, especially to the affairs of youth and just the country at large, has been a back and forth type of program. Okay, but with the coming of the Fourth Republic Alliance, the coming together of the presidential candidates, that unity the policies, the land reform policies, the youth empowerment policies. I said, this is where everybody should be.
Okay.
This is where I should be. You know, this is the agenda that everybody should buy into.
Right.
So basically, that was what drove me towards the alliance. That is where my principles with them aligned.
Okay.
So we are into this agenda full throttle.
Okay.
We are not playing politics of slogans. No. We come to the table, we seek for power with goal-oriented programs.
Okay.
We are not using slogans like this and that. No. When you see a problem somewhere, you should have a solution. Okay? When you talk of removing this current administration because of the shortcomings which are there, you should have a solution to the problems that you are seeing. And that is what we bring to the table, which we'll discuss as we go by today.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that introduction. Let's get into the thick of things. I mean, for starters, you've already explained to us how you feel your vision aligns with Woza. But tell us, what is or how is Woza preparing youths to actively participate in governance beyond just voting? Because you see, somebody will beg to question that, you only hear the involvement of youth in politics whenever it's an election year.
That is correct.
Then you become active and you want to engage with the youth. So from your view, as Woza, how exactly do you plan to actively participate in governance beyond voting time, if you'd like to say?
Thank you. First of all, allow me to state a very sad fact. As you may know, currently, even representation in parliament currently stands at 0.6%. Even with the coming of Bill 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, youths are guaranteed those seats, but also the representation will still be 7.4% out of 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite minimal.
Yes, it's a drop in the ocean still, because if youths, like you've said, are the majority and we are the majority voters, if we are engaged every year period, means they know that we are the driving force of every election result. Okay, so with that being said, we have taken a deliberate move as Woza. Okay. By the way, we are contesting at every level.
Okay.
Yes, parliamentary level, councillors also. So we have made a deliberate policy that youths should be given the majority of seats.
Okay.
Yes, and it's not a political stunt. Neither is it a political gimmick. No, but it's because we know that if we have a good number of youths who go to parliament, then our representation or the representation of youths in parliament will be at a larger scale. So that is why we have taken that deliberate policy to say above 50, maybe 55% of those who will be adopted should be youths. Okay.
This is in the party manifesto?
Yes, and yes.
The party president
is
the party in agreement.
Yes, the party president is in agreement with that. As you may know, Woza is an embodiment of various political parties.
Yes.
So each political party has a manifesto.
Right.
Yes. So as we drive towards in the next few days, weeks, these are policies that will now be consolidated into one document to say this is what we take as an alliance, not as a political party.
Okay.
So when you come together as an alliance, you need to know to say there are different views and policies, and the manifestos are, of course, they're all developmental oriented, which is a fact. I have read all of them,
right? Which
is why I joined anyway.
Okay.
But it comes a time when you need to come up with one solid document where you all align your agenda on. So even for the youths, I'm also part of the steering committee of putting forth what we want to do for the young people. It is my responsibility on the youth aspect to put forth how we want the selection process to be done.
Okay.
Yes, we want a good number in parliament, not what could be anticipated, that percentage in parliament. That is not workable. If I am a driving force for tomorrow, then even the laws that are made, which is parliament that makes that. If a majority of young people are not in parliament, then it will not have a reflection of speaking for the interest of the people. The laws, whatever will be talked about, made law, will not have a pure representation of the young people because it's not a young person in there.
True.
Yes. Because even the Minister of Youth and Sport, Woza Alliance is saying, the Fourth Republic Alliance is saying it should be a youth because he is the one who understands the affairs of young people.
Right.
He will focus on his young fellow people. He will not focus on his grandchildren. Okay. So I just thought I should clearly state that.
Okay.
So it is a deliberate move that we are taking on this cause.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So then what would you say makes Woza different from other political alliances when it comes to youth empowerment? I know you've spoken about how you feel there should be a higher representation of the youths in parliament. But aside from that, what would you pinpoint if you were to tell me right now that makes Woza different from other youthful political engagements that are in other parties?
Okay, thank you. So before I even respond to the empowerment and employment part, which is the most interesting part,
Yes.
I should clearly state that, like I mentioned earlier, I love the drive of unity in the alliance.
Okay.
It is admirable. And I also love their willingness of open arms to have on board
Okay.
other alliances to come together so that we have, at the end of it all, we have one formidable force that will really stand up to the task towards the elections.
Okay.
So we are open. We are hopeful and we believe that other alliances will come on board. We'll go to the table with other alliances and see how we can move forward. So that door is open. Coming back to the youth program, what determines the relevance or the difference of what makes it different from someone or somebody are policies. That is why we are called the Fourth Republic Alliance.
Okay.
Yes. So we had the regime of Bakaunda, okay, and then multi-party democracy.
Yes.
And then we had the PF coming on, removing the MMD, and then which was the Fed now.
Yeah.
The UPN is also in the Fed. This is the fourth. So what sets us apart from anything else are the policies that we have in place that will speak for the young people.
I like that. You almost seem very confident that you will be the fourth.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yes, we are confident. We are very confident because we believe and know that the Zambian people, what the Zambian people are looking for is a voice of hope.
Yeah.
What the Zambian youths are looking for is somebody to remind them that for a very long time of being on the trajectory, discussing things that don't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay. They need someone to come and tell them that, hey, guys, Onan, we've been paying attention on irrelevant things. It is high time we sit back, watch, and begin to engage in conversations that matter.
Okay.
And how youths will come to realize that truly we need to engage in a different sort of interaction is through the policies that an administration is putting forth of what it wants to do for them. So basically, the policies that we are going in a nutshell, it's a huge document of youth policies.
Right.
But today we are going to highlight a few which I believe resonate with the young people. Okay. That is what sets us apart from anything else. That's why we are really hopeful that other teams will come on board because we need to champion this agenda into State House.
Interesting to hear. youth unemployment remains high in Zambia. What practical solutions is Woza offering, and how will your alliance support young entrepreneurs and small businesses? Because you see, the cry for the longest of time is, look, the government can only do so much. So if you're elected today, what are your practical solutions? What are you offering to the youth out there? And how will you, as an alliance, support the young entrepreneurs and small businesses?
Thank you. Truly, unemployment levels are extremely high.
Yeah.
Currently, unemployment levels between the ages of 18 to 35 stand at 54%.
Very appalling numbers, those.
Yes, it's worrisome.
Yeah.
It's worrisome with, of course, the urban setup, the urban part of our nation, catering for about 20% of the unemployed. In the rural area, about 16%. So, but then, when you are talking of empowering your people, creating employment for your people, you need to look at them. You need to have policies that speak to the most influential part of the economy. Okay, you are looking at agriculture.
Yeah.
Okay, what reforms do you have in agriculture? What programs do you have in the agricultural sector that create employment?
Okay.
So I'll start with the very agriculture. Before we even go to CEC and CDF and other programs.
Right.
You see, if, sorry to take you back, in PFCDF was 1 million, right?
Okay.
Now it's close to 40 million. And I'm hearing it could go above, slightly above 40 million kwacha. So if that can be done, then it simply tells the country to say Zambia has money, even if we haven't yet really gone with full force to utilize, to take advantage of the wealth that we have. Of course, we are not amazing to that level, but that tells you Zambia has money. So in the agricultural sector, we want to do farm blocks.
Okay.
Currently, we already. I was looking into the current programs that they have. They have farm blocks. Okay, the UPND have formulated these policies. Want to do farm blocks program. But the most unfortunate part that I have seen in it is their consistency in saying everything should be private owned.
Right.
Their farm block program is oriented towards the private sector.
Okay.
Yet again, they want outsiders to come and invest in agriculture. Other things that we can do as a country.
Yeah.
But what we are championing as the Fourth Republic Alliance is to ensure that these farm blocks are government owned. Okay? We want to own those farm blocks and empower our people, especially our young people, using that program. Currently, the policy that is there is, the target is 100,000 hectares per province.
Right.
Okay, of these farm blocks. And if you make your calculations, you find that per farm block is able to employ close or to empower close to 15,000 people. So if a farm block per province is employing 15,000 youths, okay, let's assume 14 plus the other.
I'm following.
Yes. And then you are not just talking about 15,000 people that are going to bed able to have 3 meals in a day. You are talking about 15,000 households. You may employ 15,000 people, but it trickles up to a household level because each employed person looks after a household. Even if ni mwana, but he has parents to support. Okay, he has brothers and sisters to support. So when you multiply that at provincial level, you find you have together the direct beneficiaries and indirect beneficiaries, they all total up to about 75,000. Okay, per province. So 75,000 per province, people are empowered. Multiply that 75,000 people. countrywide, it takes you close to 1 million. How many young people will be employed per province just under? That is just agriculture.
I was about to say that, look, the numbers that we're talking about is not small numbers.
No, of
and
course
hence
they're not.
why I asked in the question, do we have practical solutions? You're literally just tipping on the surface with how this can work out. So in terms of practicality, with such numbers, realistically, is that viable? Are we able to pull that off?
Yes, we are. The major thing, let's not go there and say the major thing always remains one fundamental element, and that is finances. The finances, they will say, we did drama. We don't have money to finance this. But yes, you are giving tax holidays to mining firms. How are you going to generate those resources into channeling it into these programs that directly benefit the Zambian people? We have that money. Zambia is a rich country. Other countries have done this, it has worked. Is it because that's why it has worked, us we can't do it? No. We are actually far much better and richer than most of those countries that are implementing these policies. If they can do it, us with the vast wealth that we have, we can do this, Mr. Nkata. It is workable, extremely, extremely workable. Look at this. So if that program works, which it will when we form government, when that program works for farm blocks, it trickles down because with the moment that is implemented, you have surplus of produce. Okay, so when you have surplus of produce, you expect that it will trickle down to lower the cost of living for the Zambian people. And apart from creating employment for those in the farm blocks, cooperatives, it trickles down now. Since you have surplus, instead of tomatoes rotting, other produce rotting on the market, you go into value addition. Okay, you go into value addition. Also at value addition phase, you are employing people as well there. It trickles down, it goes all the way to the marketing strategist committee that now looks at where do we export this produce outside the country. You are generating forex. You are empowering people to ensure that they have food to eat. You are exporting excessively, greatly, okay? You are bringing in forex and you are improving the economy on the world stage. So you are killing. You say two birds with one stone. Two birds with one stone. Yes. So basically, that is just under agriculture. There are a lot more sectors that when we venture in, trust me, it will be a game changer. With the young people in parliament, we just agree to say, this is what we need to do. This has to be implemented. This will work. Because what a challenge has been are policies. Okay. So the leadership that you have, they know to say, if this works, okay, if this works, we'll injure our friends outside. But that is the approach. That is not the approach you want. These same people, say people from outside, I'll tell you, most in the agricultural sector, our child labor rate at the moment currently stands at 8.9%. But then, of course, how do you try to work around that, eradicate that? You first need to ask yourself a question to say, why do we still have child labor problems? Yeah. Okay. So the main issue is these children, they indulge or involve themselves in such because their parents are not so able to bring home what is enough for everybody. So children are forced to go into child labor, and parents can't say no because they also want an excess of 2 kwacha that a child will make. Yeah. But when you have these farm blocks where, of course, these farm blocks, of course, are rural setup oriented. Yeah. Yes. So you have parents who are working. Okay. So if they are getting enough, they will now give stress-free to a child to now stop what they are doing and go ku school. Okay. So it is always about addressing the bigger problem, and then ultimately, relatively, it addresses other challenges that you didn't see you would address. So these are issues that are relatable, but these relatable, and governments for the past have known to say these are things that we should be doing, but they don't do it because it's always about appeasing your friends. It's always about appeasing who's helping you to go up there. Okay?
Yeah.
So that is just in agriculture. As we go on, if I'm allowed now, I can go further.
Well, we'll have to look at our time here and try and squeeze in as much as we can. But before I transition from empowerment, what policies rather would you propose to ensure also, because I think we haven't spoken about graduates. That's also another shade of gray that needs to be addressed in this country, being absorbed into the workforce. What is the plan for the graduates? We have so many people who are roaming the streets these days with bachelor's degrees, but there's no jobs out there.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good question. And
I'd like to know what policies you put up
sensitive
in there.
as well, because how you respond to that, you could injure that one, you could appease that one.
Yeah.
But I'll be very objective on this matter. First of all, we need to understand that people will always graduate. We need to understand that almost every year we have graduates coming on the market.
And in hindsight, we need to have solutions.
Exactly.
Every year.
Exactly. But you can't employ everybody at once.
True.
So what do you do? I'll give an example for teachers. Not because I'm a teacher, of course, but this applies to every other sector, even nurses. You need to ensure that there is a deliberate access to finances by our graduates.
Okay.
Yes. If Munsange today graduates as a teacher,
right?
Okay, and I know there's a committee somewhere, there's a body somewhere that makes resources available, deliberate resources available for me to go. I get a loan. I'm able to set up my own mini school where you start a preschool. The moment you have such a program.
Are you saying these programs are not available at the moment?
Exactly. So they may be there, but not implemented. This is a problem that we've had for a very long time. I was talking to a friend before coming here today who was open to him to say, Munsange, the problem that we have as a country, we have so many policies. If you read most of the policies that are there now, you'll be amazed. If somebody comes and gives a presentation of the policies that we have, you will be amazed. But how much of that amazement that you see in reading, how much of it goes down to the ground to help the people? You go and check. You find there's nothing. Same applies if you read what CDF or CEC intends to attain. You read their documents, you'll be amazed. Okay? But go to the ground. How many people are benefiting from CEC at an individual level?
Right.
The answer out of 100 would be maybe 2 or 3. But yet, every empowerment cycle, funds are announced that funds have been released.
Yeah.
People have been empowered. Who's getting empowered if not our people? So policies are there. A lot of policies are there, but how much of those policies trickle down to addressing the needs of our people at the grassroots or household level? It's almost totaling to zero.
Yeah.
You cannot have good policies even under CEC, under food production, under block making, empowerment funds, but yet what we see around the country are people, are so-called investors coming to invest kupanga mabloko in Zambia. But yet you see, EC says they're empowering our Zambian citizens to go into business like food production. But yes, we have foreigners who come to make bread. Something that you and I can make. Something that every youth out there who goes under training for food production can do. But instead, our SMEs are closing down. Those who've done food production are unable to go into this business because they already know there's already that man there or there's already that investor there who came to make bread in Zambia all the way from that far. So it is the current police framework is cumbersome, is unrelatable. It does not relate to the needs of the people. No. These are just policies that are there for formality, but what is being done is something else. You can't have a CDF committee or CEC CDF committee consisting of politically inclined people. Because that is a fact. Okay? So you need a CDF committee, you need a CEC approving committee that consists of a community representative, because that money does not belong to CEC is just a body that is assigned to look after the money. It is not their money.
Yeah.
That money belongs to the community. You need a community representative who sits on the board. You need, Zambia as a Christian nation. Okay, so the church is highly respected. You need somebody from the Christian community to sit on that board. Because as we know, Christ is a pillar of righteousness. So when you have a man of God or a person of God sitting on the board for CEC, we expect that...
Mr. Munsange, you almost sound like you are questioning the people that sit on the body.
I am.
Of CEC.
I am 100%.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Who gets empowered with those funds?
Are you... I mean, I'll pick your own words. Are you trying to insinuate that we don't have Christians sitting on these boards, hence some of the decisions that are being made?
No.
Zambia is a Christian nation.
Zambia is a Christian
nation. Our leader
nation.
today will come out and tell you he's a Christian, but yet we have so many unanswered questions, right? So is it a case of political governance that is, well, based on the right of will? Or is it going to be based on religion?
No. No. Like I said, you need a community leader on the board.
Yeah.
You need a church leader on the board. You need a youth representative on the approving board. So religion, I was just trying to amplify it because you know how us Christians are. Yes, so you have a youth representative sitting on the board. You need a representative from each governing body of a certain particular groupings of our people. I'll give an example. The musicians.
Yeah.
Musicians are under ZAM, Zambian Association of Musicians, which is headed by B-Flow, if I'm not mistaken. So you need a representative from that group as well who sits on the approving board for CEC. Why am I saying so? We are proposing, a policy. We are proposing that part of the funds under CEC we should have a deliberate pool fund. So that pool fund is where we'll have, like I mentioned, like ZAM and other governing bodies that will be put in place, which governing body will be looking at comedians, will they all fall under ZAM, you know? So these representatives in each team that represent that stream of young people or these talents, they'll sit on the board of CEC to decide how that pool fund will be utilized. ZAM or sports. Sports, we have this percentage in the pool fund, which is supposed to go to sports. How do we improve the sports in the country? What sort of sports infrastructure do we need? Excuse me. Musicians, what incentives do we need to bring on board to improve the Zambian music? Even on the international, to promote even on the international community. How do we, the movie industry, how do we improve the movie industry too? Because, you know, these things have worked in other countries, especially the movie industry. And they even bring in foreign investors. And yes, like the movie industry, look at how the Nigerian movie industry has grown to an extent that it's contributing to the growth, to the GDP of their country. We can do it here. So in the pool fund, the team that represents the movie industry should be there. What do we need, or what do you need in the movie industry development for you to improve? Is it the media gadgets that you need? Is it infrastructure that you need? So all these are deliberate policies that have been neglected for a very long time. But trust me, it doesn't mean our leaders in the past have not known about this. They knew. But they are more concentrating on policies that garner them political numbers, so to say. But that shouldn't be the case. I think when you are taken into, when people vote for you, when people trust you to go there, they expect you to work for them, not to impress them. Okay, we don't want you. People are not looking to be. They don't want to be impressed. They want to see tangible solutions. Not today you shout, 38 million kwacha CDF. Oh, you clap. Okay, this amount in CEC, this amount. But then when you look down to the ground, results are almost zero. You wonder where is it going?
These allocations are not.
These allocations, no. This one has been
utilized.
They are not utilized the way they should be utilized.
Okay.
Who's being empowered in these loan schemes? If I was to get my phone here, actually, I'm saying this from my own experience. I will not lie to you. I have applied for CDF before.
Okay.
Yes, I have. We have applied for a CDF as an organization that I belonged to before coming into the alliance. And I have contacted friends and mutual friends to try just ask, do you know anybody who's ever benefited from this? The answer is always no, but then you tend to wonder, who's really benefiting from these programs? Look at how our youths are engaging in illicit activities.
Yeah.
May her soul rest in peace. What happened in Kamba was terrible.
Yes.
Those are young people. In Livingstone, bare a month ago, there was a riot there. Youths from Malota fighting with those from Ngwenya. These are young people. And why are they fighting? No, they are evading our compound. We own this place. This is where we do our business from. These are young people who should be productive.
Right.
But because opportunities are not being created for them, they have nowhere to run to other than looking at who's your neighbor, what is your neighbor engaging in illicit activities, but they're making a 2 kwacha per day. You have no option. Our young people have no option. They instead begin to indulge in illicit activities. Yet, we as leaders have a responsibility, which should fundamentally be based on creating opportunities for our people.
What opportunities are these?
So,
because these allocations will be there.
Yes.
If come a different regime, we will have allocations. But what are some of these things? You see, what I would like to hear from you is pinpointed solutions, if you like, that people can engage in. Because I think it would be unfair for us to say that as much as there's misappropriation of these funds, none of them are going to the people. That would be incorrect to say.
Thank you. Of course, you can, to pinpoint from what you've said, when you say it goes to the people, yes, of course, we've seen a 2x4 classroom block built, this and that done. Yes, we see that. Okay? But, Mr. Nkata, you and I can come to an agreement.
Right.
That even before a road is constructed, you should ensure that your people are satisfied. Even before you buy a car, which is very important, okay, you should ensure that at home, kids are able to eat from morning, lunch, na 16 if possible, and supper. Before you even think of incentivizing these other programs. Okay, so our key mandate as the Fourth Republic Alliance, Woza, Fourth Republic Alliance, is to ensure that in as much as we are creating an atmosphere that is good for our people, we also ensure that they are fed, they eat. We create opportunities where they're able to derive resources from and be able to afford 3 meals in a day. If you take a random survey today, go out there, see how much people are complaining out there. Yet we have millions of CDF. Okay, but you go in Munari there, in Munari constituency where I come from, go and ask around there. Everybody is complaining. But yes, there are these millions in CDF. Does it mean those people don't know that there are these millions in CDF? They do know. Have they tried to access these monies, or maybe we can say they don't take advantage of these opportunities?
Have they?
They do. I have taken a survey myself where I cut my hair from. I deliberately go to a shanty compound to cut my hair so that I get the feel of what people are saying there. The complaints are the same. People go to apply for these monies, but they never access them.
Okay.
I had an encounter where somebody was honest enough to tell me that, you see, when we go to apply for these programs, even those who get those incentives or those empowerment programs, it's like you're walking through a bush, thorns are pricking you, but the moment you make it to the end, you get what you needed. Instead of utilizing it, you start utilizing that empowerment you got to start patching the wounds of the thorns, of the wounds by the thorns. So what do I mean by that? When people go into these offices to get these products, okay, I'll say them products, you are told, give me ABCD, okay? Give me ABCD so that you get this.
Okay.
But then I, a poor Munsange, okay, I'm going there to ask for you. I, a poor Munsange, I borrow somewhere, okay? I give this person to ensure my application goes through. When I go outside through the other door, I now have to pay debt, first of all. You understand? I have to pay debt where I got that 5,000 to give somebody for that to go through. With the moment I finished paying that 5,000, there were other issues in between that were also draining me that I need to compensate by the time I'm there. So a business proposal which was meant to be funded by 40 million kwacha or 40,000 kwacha, by the time I'm coming out of that door, I only have 29,000. 11,000 is gone. But my proposal was saying I needed the 40,000. Okay? So now you have this 29,000. Your proposal as a group is saying 40,000. Guys, this doesn't match. What do we do? We are a small number. You know what? This will not work. Anyway, get this. This is how this money is being squandered. Why do you think we rarely have success stories of people who get those grants and loans? Why are success stories not being beamed on television like this? No, today we're in Munali, we're in Kitwe. These are success stories of CDF, of people who've benefited. Why do you think that is not being done? They are stepping foot on that because they know the moment that happens, it will be in the limelight that this is what transpired during the acquisition of this loan. Because when you squeeze these people who get loans, they will end up opening up to you. To say we couldn't implement because by the time we're coming out of that door, we only had 29,000 out of the 40,000 we needed. So we had nothing to do. We couldn't implement.
That sounds interesting. It'll be nice to get to hear some of these stories from the horse's mouth, people who've actually been through them. But quickly, due to time, let's see if we can also just touch on participation on the political space by the youths. How many youths feel used during campaigns and ignored afterward. How will Woza change this narrative? And what role will youths play in decision making in line, or rather within the alliance? How are you encouraging also, furthermore, first-time voters to trust and engage with Woza?
First of all, the most important or fundamental part of how to address that is ensuring that young people are part and parcel of the process.
Okay.
Personally, like I mentioned, I am supposed to be in a classroom right now teaching. But because of the challenges that we are currently facing, I said, let me go on board.
Okay.
And begin to advocate that even 55% of our young people are adopted in Woza. Okay. So the first thing is ensuring that they are part and parcel of the process. How do you ensure that they're part and parcel of the process? It doesn't just end at engaging them while we are in the opposition. It means when we engage them, we intend to support them to ensure that they make it to parliament where laws are made.
Okay.
So we are not only adopting young people to make sure they are part of the process. I have deliberately championed or advocated that they should be supported.
Okay.
Because look, I understand most of our young people don't participate. They don't come forth. Do you know why? It's not because they don't want, but because politics has been frontiered as an entity of wealth and money. For you to participate, you should have this much money. Okay, in 2021 when I participated, I once heard one political party saying, for you to participate, you should have this number of vehicles. You should have 2 Land Cruisers. Which one you use as for yourself? One should be for the presidential campaign team, okay, to be returned to you after elections. But then you come to a young person with vibrant ideas of what they want to do for our motherland, but then they don't have those incentives. So what do? You stay back as a young person, okay?
Is this this is with regards to participation? I mean, clearly this is not true.
It
We know
is
the processes.
It is. Trust me.
I highly doubt that is this is what's obtaining on the ground.
Trust me. I've been there. I've seen it with my own eyes. I wasn't taught by somebody. I've seen it, and because of that, I said I'm not contesting here. Let me contest here. Okay. So I'm giving an example of something that directly happened to me. Okay, so it is even it acts as a privilege that I was able to engage with people who think highly like that.
Right.
But what about young people who look from afar and fear to engage in the first place? So I understand why our young people are not coming forth to present themselves. It's because we lack resources. So that is the reason why we're ensuring that in Woza we are going to support youth candidates who are going to contest on our ticket.
Okay.
Because we know they need that support. Trust me, Mr. Nkata, it's terrible out there. That's why in the beginning I said youths need a voice that will remind them that we need to begin having conversations that matter. Or else, they'll continue thinking our silence in this phase of betrayal after elections, they'll think we are ignorant. When actually we are not ignorant. We are not. We are fully aware of the challenges we are going through, but they choose to ignore us.
Yeah.
So youths need somebody to come and remind them to say, no, we need to begin engaging these people on conversations that really matter. We need to tell them, this is what we want. These are the conditions that we have if you are to go into government. We want to be part and parcel of the process. If some of us will not be part and parcel of the processes, these are the policies we want you to implement when you go in. Do you agree? Not because somebody comes to me today and says, there's this 100 kwacha, begin mobilizing for me. Wow, I'm struggling. Okay? You are a young person, you are struggling. Are you going to say no to 100 kwacha because you want to push for a policy? No, you get the 100 kwacha and succumb. That is why we need to unite as young people and have one common voice. And that common voice is what I'm calling upon today, to ensure that each and every young person realizes what the power and authority that lies in our hands, if we unite. So the unit of purpose is the number one element that I'm calling upon the youths. We need to come in one basket and speak one tone and one language. That way, nobody, and I repeat, nobody will ever take advantage of the young people again. And this is the voice that is going to speak in the forthcoming elections.
All right. So quickly, Mr. Munsange, because time is not on our side, let's see whether you could just quickly answer these questions based on national issues. I mean, what is your position on the current economic challenges affecting young people? How will Woza plan to address issues like poverty and inequality among youths? And what's your stance on education reforms as well as skills development? If we could squeeze these in just under 2 minutes as we wrap it up, we obviously will invite you. There's so much that we need to speak on, but I think in wrapping, let's address those issues.
Okay, thank you. So in terms of speaking for the youths, in terms of empowerment and programs, so like I stated, we have agriculture, which I have briefly touched. The other program, which the President Simbao, is actually an expert of, is industrialization.
Okay.
Yes, want to go full throttle industrialization. Places like Livingstone, which many call a ghost town because there are no opportunities there other than
So
the
tourist
hospitality
capital,
industry.
there's so many opportunities.
I would want to be corrected if you tell me one. Trust me, I know what your answer will be. Your answer will be our young people are being employed in lodges. But how many lodges do we have and do we need to employ everybody? Is it every day that tourists flock to Livingstone? The answer is no. Even statistics.
There's several things that youth could involve themselves in. There's
Exactly.
curio making. There's you could come up with activities
Exactly.
to entertain your tourists. So,
But now you know what happens? Even in the space of actually they're doing that, but they're not generating enough from that. You know why? Because still they depend on on tourists who come to the city to purchase those. How many times have you gone to Livingstone and you came back with 4 curios? It's rare, I know. So they depend on tourists to buy what they produce.
Yeah.
But what you need in Livingstone is to create Livingstone as an economic hub. But how do you do that? You need to advocate for places like Livingstone to be a creative city. The whole Zambia Livingstone is the only city that qualifies to be a creative city because of its cultural background and its current cultural form. The Victoria Falls, name it all, like you've mentioned, the curios and the like. So we are advocating that Livingstone should be a creative city under UNESCO.
okay.
So when you have, by the way, in Southern Africa, I think only South Africa has a creative city. Okay, so if you go to a creative city, development is something that you can feel the moment you walk into that city. How does that happen? Creative city is composed of wealthy people. Okay, so if you have somebody from the UK who wants to visit Zambia, the first thing they'll type is creative cities in Southern Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then they see Livingstone, Zambia. They'll come here in Zambia, in Livingstone, and begin to identify opportunities. They also encourage each other amongst the Creative City Board to invest in cities that are listed on the Creative City Board. So if Livingstone, when we form government, Livingstone will become a creative city under UNESCO, and those opportunities, investment opportunities, will begin to flock into Livingstone. While we sit in the comfort of our chair without following them to bother each other and begin to agree on terms that don't even make sense. So that is how we intend to improve the livelihoods of our young people. When you have industries coming into Livingstone, you know that now we don't just depend on Makirios and Malodges to employ our young people. There will be other industries which will come in because of it being a creative city. You have investors coming because of creative city.
Right. All right. Certainly that's your message to the unemployed youths and graduates out there. But before we end, one thing you would change immediately if Woza forms government?
I don't know how I would quantify it in one thing. I think the only best way is to say the police framework.
Okay.
We need to look that. We need to see how we can enshrine every policy that I have alluded today, so that we have a clear trajectory towards achieving the goals that we have set.
Okay.
Yes, not just for our people, but for the country at large in terms of the eyes from outside Zambia. We need to profile Zambia in a very good way. We need to profile Zambia to ensure that everybody who looks at us, who looks at Zambia, knows to say, in Zambia, production is there. Okay? Doing business in Zambia is there. Not for you to entice people. We want to say we're giving you tax holiday so to entice them. That is cosmetic. Are you telling me? Are you agreeing to say it is a good thing to say no? So that I have somebody to come in, I'll give him my leg. For someone to endorse me, for someone to come and support me, I should give him my leg. Let me say, whoever comes, I'll give him this free leg. How sustainable is that?
Certainly not. I would need movement myself. But
exactly. So you bring it back at some point to your leg, and then they'll go again. You see. So you need tangible and sustainable type of policies. So that is the first thing we're going to do when we form government. police reforms.
Okay.
Police reforms in the SMEs, okay? Police reforms under the Ministry of Youth and Sport, mining police reforms, agricultural police reforms, and land police reforms, which I did not highlight much. Do you know how much, I know we're running out under 20 seconds. Do you know how much of our people today are having their land grabbed in the rural areas? Before I even walked into this studio today, I received a call from Mumba of somebody who is crying because her land was grabbed by the Chinese. Okay? We need land reforms. We need restricted, okay? Land reforms that restrict the giving out of our land anyhow. Zambia's population is growing very fast. So if we begin to give away our land anyhow to anybody, massive, huge land, then where will our people sit tomorrow?
Well, Mr. Munsange, that's all the time we had for today. I'd like to thank you for making time to visit us on the Political Square. Certainly those are interesting reforms and policies. We wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this episode's Political Square. I had with me the youth chairperson for Woza, Mr. Munsange, who I believe has shed the light on some of the questions that you may have had. Until the very next episode, thank you so much for watching. This has been Tamoni Nkata.
In a nation searching for answers, every household has a story, and every story is shaped by the politics of our time. Your struggles, your hopes, your future. We bring you the voices of the people and the leaders who must respond. Because a stronger democracy starts with informed citizens. This is where Zambia comes together to talk, to question, and to push for better. Your voice, your power, your Zambia. The Political Square. Only on BMTV. Zambia's light, Zambia's voice.